RAMILY, welcome into a brand new episode of the Rams Report by Chat Sports. Today, we're talking draft. 2026 NFL mock draft season is in full swing. All the NFL insiders, all the content creators putting out their mock drafts, especially now that we're post-free agency. All the major moves kind of made team needs for the draft starting to come into more clear focus. So we'll be doing more mock drafts on this channel. We'll be reacting to some insider mock drafts today and some more in the future. And if you guys want more draft content like this video we're about to get into today, make sure you hit the thumbs up button on today's video. Today we're going to break down Mel Kiper's latest mock, Daniel Jeremiah's latest mock, but there's a lot more insiders putting out mock drafts that we could break down. We could do our own mock drafts. Just let me know if you guys want more mock draft content and more draft content in general by hitting the thumbs up button on today's video. And that gives me that signal that, like, hey, the RAMILY wants more content just like this. So me and Michael cook it up for you guys. But let's go ahead and get into Mel Kiper Jr.'s mock draft 3.0. I believe this is the third mock draft he's put out and his first post-free agency one. As always, in every mock draft, Fernando Mendoza goes number one to the Las Vegas Raiders. We don't even really need to discuss it. Happens every time. Number two is pretty interesting, though. It's really where the draft begins. David Bailey to the New York Jets. And I feel like these next, four picks are so different. Every mock that you read, it's really where the draft starts to get interesting. And it's kind of different than in years past where it felt like a lot of this was very settled by this point in the draft cycle. Third, though, we get Arvell Reese, the Ohio State defensive end. Not someone we've really talked about. David Bailey and Arvell Reese, not really realistic candidates at 13. Jeremiah Love, someone we have talked about a little bit, someone the Rams met with at the NFL Combine. Shout out to Rick Eisen Show for providing that. Don't really think he's a realistic candidate at this point either, though. Just seems like more and more he is going at that fourth spot in pretty much every mock draft. Seems like that's what the indication is, even if it is a little bit of smoke from Tennessee to try to get people to trade up and take that fourth pick from them. It seems like they're really trying to get people to buy into the idea of Jeremiah Love going early. Fifth, Caleb Downs off the board. Someone that we've talked about, hey, if he slides there at 13, he's someone you change the plans for. And I think it is realistic that he does slide to 13. It's not 100% guaranteed. There is a realm like this. There's an absolute possibility that he goes as high as 5. Hell, there's a world where he goes as high as 2. He's one of the best players if you disregard positional value in the entire draft. Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. Next couple picks, 6 through 9. Monroe Freeling. I will say he's been skyrocketing draft boards, the offensive tackle out of Georgia. Someone I've seen mocked to us at 13 a couple of times, and we'll get into why I don't like that in a minute, unfortunately. But next up, we got Sonny Styles, Ohio State linebacker. Another guy that's talked about a little bit for Rams by some insiders, some mock drafts have projected him there. I don't really feel like that's a very likely candidate either. That's just not the way the Rams value inside linebacker, but a really good player, huge combine warrior as well. Back-to-back Buckeyes with Carnell Tate going off the board 8th to New Orleans. Another interesting candidate, if he's there for the Rams, does kind of fit in that mold of Devontae Adams style receivers. Could be an interesting long-term running mate to Puka Nacua, but someone who usually is off the board a little earlier. 9th was Ruben Bain, another guy that the Rams met with at the Combine. It was an interesting meeting when I first heard about it, but something to keep in the back of your mind. Rams are a little bit interested in that edge defender / Ruben Bain does have the versatility to kick inside as well. I don't really think that's where the Rams would envision him. 10 through 12, Mansour Delane, someone we used to talk about a lot on this channel. Obviously, pre-Trent McDuffie trade, corner being the biggest need on this team. But with Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson coming in, not really a realistic first-round candidate for us either. Jordyn Tyson off the board at 11. I know we've got some Jordyn Tyson fans in the audience. Bummer to see him go a little earlier. And then another former channel favorite falling in at number 12, Jermod McCoy, someone we also talked about a lot back when corner was the primary need. But for us at 13, Mel Kiper goes in the direction of offensive tackle with Francis Mauigoa out of Miami. And this is a bad pick for the Rams. And I hate to say this because it has nothing to do with Francis Mauigoa. But this is not the direction that the Rams will go in. Even though Francis Mauigoa is a good player, I'm not saying he's not. I think he's a really good tackle. He's absolutely worthy of going in the range of 13th overall or even earlier. You'll see him off the board even earlier in one of our other mock drafts that we're going to look at. And like I said, fine player, arguably fantastic player. But 13th overall for the Los Angeles Rams cannot be invested into an offensive tackle. Not when you are this win now. Not when you are already, in my opinion, rock solid along the offensive line. Alaric Jackson is your left tackle. You paid him a lot of money to be that. And I believe, and we've noted a lot of reports on this channel, that you're about to pay a lot of money to that guy over on the other side of the line, Warren McClendon. And it just baffles me that people don't realize that he was really good when he filled in for Rob Havenstein last season. When Rob Havenstein went down with the injury, he obviously called it a career. And I just feel like so many people, they see the fact that Rob retired. They don't realize, because they don't watch Rams football, that Warren McClendon stepped in beautifully in Havenstein's absence, allowed the lowest pressure rate of any starting tackle in the NFL in the regular season last year, played more than 5 games in 10 starts with a less than 3% pressure rate. The Rams are extending that man. I'd put a lot of money on it. And so would Tony Pauline of Essentially Sports. He put out a report saying the Los Angeles Rams continue to express an interest in signing right tackle Warren McClendon Jr. to a contract extension, though it may take a little longer than expected. He continued, if they wait too long, McClendon could cost them a lot more money because his value and appeal to other teams will take off, assuming he has a good season in 2026, which sounds like a damn safe assumption to me because the guy was fantastic in 2025. This is something the Rams need to be urgent about getting done. It's something they seem to be urgent about getting done, and it's something that all of the people making mock drafts need to wake up to. Right tackle is not a problem for this team. Warren McClendon is going to hold it down. If you are making a mock draft for the Rams, please listen to these words. Warren McClendon Jr. is our right tackle. And if you want to see him get extended, like today's video. I would be liking it as many times as I could. I know you can only like it once, but I'd like it and unlike it just to like it again, because that's how much I want to see Warren McClendon get extended. If for whatever reason you don't want to see Warren McClendon get extended, I got to hear why. I've got to hear your reason. Comment your explanation for it, because I have to hear why. I got to know. What is the reason why you don't want to see the guy who was one of the best right tackles in the NFL last season get the payday he deserves, and a payday that arguably could save you some money before he goes out in 2026 and plays even better? But let's see if Daniel Jeremiah does a better job for the Rams. Let's get into his mock draft here. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza goes 1 again. Number 2 falls in Arvell Reese, the edge rusher / linebacker. I know he said at the combine he wants to play inside linebacker. I don't think he's going to keep that opinion once he starts to see the money that edge defenders make in the NFL, though. We'll see where he ends up, though. Francis, our guy, apparently, according to Mel Kiper, he goes 3rd in this draft. And then again, you see, he's a really good player. I think, maybe he could be a long-term piece for this Rams team, but when you are as win now as we are, taking an offensive tackle that you don't need in the first round with a high-value pick that you're unlikely to have in the future, because good teams don't get high-value picks like that unless you make really smart trades like we did, it'd just be a waste, in my opinion. It would just be a waste. Jeremiah Love, 4th overall, fallen into Tennessee again. We continue to see that pattern. 5th, Sonny Styles, another Buckeye off the board. Those Buckeye linebackers going quick in every mock draft, followed by another Buckeye. 3 Buckeyes in the top 6 picks of Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft as Carnell Tate finds himself a Cleveland Brown. Ruben Bain off the board next to the Washington Commanders at 7th, followed by another edge defender in David Bailey out of Texas Tech, taking another guy off the board. Spencer Fano goes 9th to the Kansas City Chiefs. Bit of a surprising pick there. Another team that you could see be interested in a weapon, but good for us in this draft that they don't go for one. 10th, Caleb Downs off of the board. Another guy we've talked about being an option in the secondary. He goes. This 11th overall pick, I should have mentioned this in the mock draft that we talked about last time. What I do want to kind of note here is this mock draft came out before the Jalen Waddle trade. So they do have them go Mansour Delane at 11 in this mock. But I think it'll be interesting over the next couple of weeks. That Jalen Waddle trade is not great news for the Rams. I'm going to make a short about it soon. I think we'll talk about it in a future VOD. But it just adds another team in front of you in the draft that is interested in what you are interested in, which is receiver. Obviously, trading Jalen Waddle puts the Dolphins in a position where drafting a first-round receiver is highly likely for them. I don't think this Mansour Delane pick is actually what they would do in real life. I think it would be more akin to what we saw in the last mock draft where they go Jordyn Tyson. So I think you just got to keep that in the back of your mind. Is there's 5 really good options for as far as receivers go, and there's 7 teams that want a receiver in the first 12 picks now. There were 6. Now Miami in front of you as well. 12th. Jermod McCoy goes again to the Dallas Cowboys, which finally puts us on the board. Without further ado, in this draft, you guys are going to love this one. The Los Angeles Rams select the receiver out of USC, our boy, Makai Lemon. I love Lemon. You guys know it. I have made no secret of it. He's been, for a long time, my favorite pick for the Rams at 13. Even before the Trent McDuffie trade. And I would get a lot of criticism for this because I know corner was the biggest need on this team. But Makai Lemon has always been, I think, such an unbelievably fascinating fit with the Rams. A player that Sean McVay could do unbelievable things with. When I turn on the tape for Makai Lemon, and I'm not a USC fan. I know a lot of you guys are, and I'm not an anti-USC guy, but I want to caveat this by my Makai Lemon fascination does not come from a place of being a USC fan. I know that's where it is for a lot of LA Rams fans, and I don't fault you for that. If you're a USC, LA Rams fan, I could totally understand why Makai Lemon would be your favorite guy just for that reason. But that's not actually a factor for me. It's just the tape. It is just the numbers. It's just the idea that this guy could be unbelievable paired with the kind of play caller that Sean McVay is. And I don't care that his combine interviews are kind of weird. I don't care. I know someone's going to talk about it in the comment section. I want you to know that I do not care. So I don't have to respond to all of the comments about Makai Lemon's combine interviews. I just don't care. There is nothing off the field with this guy that tells you he's a bad person. He's just from Los Alamitos. At the end of the day, you're a product of where you are from. I don't fault him for not code switching in a combine interview. He just said it at the USC Pro Day. He's trying to be his authentic self. I have no problem with that, especially because his authentic self is a really damn good receiver that would be an awesome weapon for this team. I don't want him to be anything other than that guy at the end of the day. That guy that solves the receiver 3 problem for the Los Angeles Rams. I don't care how he talks if he's coming onto the field, forcing guys to miss tackles, being that awesome compliment to Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams next season, helping us go out and do exactly what we're setting out to do. I don't even need to say what it is because you all know, and then being the long-term running mate to Puka Nacua. That 1-2 that will continue to have us at the top of the NFL for years, no matter who comes in next to be your quarterback, because they've got 2 elite options to throw the football to. Puka Nacua and Makai Lemon. Bam. It's that simple. That'd be a home run pick for the Rams. I can't say anything more about it, to be honest with you. And I think that just about does it for this episode of the Rams Report by Chat Sports. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about the 2 mock drafts that we looked at. I know, I'm pretty sure which one you guys are going to like more. I think it's going to be pretty similar to the one that I liked more. But sound off for me. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you in the next one. Let's go Rams.